אנחנו מאמינים בני מאמינים, אנחנו מאמינים בני מאמינים, ואין לנו עמי להישואל, ואין לנו עמי להישואל, אוי אלו אלו אלוהינו, אלו אלו אלוהינו, אבינו שבשמיים, אנחנו מאמינים בני מאמינים, ואין לנו עמי להישואל.
Shalom, everyone. Boker Tov. Why don't you turn to your neighbor and tell them Ma Shalomcha or Ma Shalomech? For a female, Ma Shalomech. For a male, Ma Shalomcha. And how do you respond? You could either respond with good, tov. Try tov. Tov. You could say tov me'od, very good. Tov me'od, me'od. Make sure you pronounce those syllables correctly. Me'od. 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 It's almost like you put a little stress on each one, because if not, it'll slur together and you won't hear the vowels. Okay? And then what else could you say?
Beseder.
You could also say beseder, but let's stick with tov for a minute. What can you say? Good, thank you. How would you say that? Tov, toda. And remember, when you say toda, remember, make sure you give that accent. Toda. Everyone say toda.
Toda.
Say tov. Toda.
Toda.
Tov, toda. Okay? And you can also say to the person, and you, be'ata or be'at. Try that. Tov, toda, be'at. So no, say tov, toda. Good, thank you. So think of the tone in which you're saying it. Good, thank you. And then you say, and you. So that's when you go up. Be'ata or be'at. Try that with your neighbor. Okay, first of all, let's start from the beginning. Why don't you have one person, everyone look at the person you're going to talk to, and then start with, so everyone pick one. So, all right, 1, 2, and then, so basically, Leon, I'll look at you, and let's all get ready to ask the one person. I'm going to ask you first, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Ma shalomcha? No, you don't repeat. You ask me, you tell me how you're doing. So I just ask you how you're doing. Ma shalomcha? So say good thank you. Toda. Okay. Okay, let's stop for a second. Let me ask you. What was the question you asked the person? Valera?
I asked him how he was doing.
Okay, and how'd you say that?
Meshlocha.
So remember, make sure you have your ah sounds. I know we haven't done it well, so it's ma shalomcha, not meh. Don't say eh, it's ah. Okay, so ma shalomcha. Okay, and the accent at the end, ma shalomcha, ma shalomcha. How are you? So just think of the same way you would go up in tone in English and also with other languages. Sometimes there's even an extra set of ma shalomcha. How are you? And so when you ask the other person, say affinitively, tov, or tov toda. Tov toda. Thank you. Very good, thank you. Okay? So then what happens if you reverse, for instance, that person can also just, instead of saying ma shalomcha or ma shalomech, they can say ve'at to a woman, and you, or ve'ata, and you, masculine, okay? So what was the response that you gave her?
He said go.
So why don't we try it one more time? You guys do it, but try it one more time. Ask him how he's doing. And then once you say good, thank you, pause for a second, and then say, and ve'at. Okay? No, say it as a question. Okay, so I hear ve'at. It's ve'at. You have to pronounce it. So everyone take a look. Take a look for 1 second what we're doing, okay? So first of all, we're asking in the question, ma, I'm not going to put vowels right now, ma, and just like the word shalom, shalom, yeah, I was trying to remember if that vowel's in the right spot. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're asking the question, Ma shlomcha or ma shlomech. Notice that without the vowels, it looks exactly the same. Okay? Ma shlomcha, ma shlomech. So we say to a man what? Ma shlomcha. To a female? Ma shlomech. Ma shlomech. Ech. Okay? So how do we respond?
Tov.
So you can say tov, you can say tov todah. Notice the different letters for the letter T sound, right? Tov todah, right? All right, so basically you're saying good, thank you, and then the person can respond ve'ata or ve'at to a female, right? All right, so let's try this one more time. I'll just quickly. Why don't you, Leon? You can ask me the question. Tov todah ve'ata. Tov. Okay, so your answer was quick. So how are you? Tov todah ve'ata, and you said tov. Okay. The other term that we said we could use is what?
Beseder.
And that beseder. Okay, so that's beseder. Like in Siddur and like in the for Pesach we have a what? A seder. Okay. So we have seder here, which means order. So the seder is the order of the service. The Siddur is a prayer book that orders the prayer mid-week and weekend, or excuse me, a weekday and weekend. So we have beseder. So you're saying in order. Everything's in order. Beseder. Now it's interesting. This is how we actually can. I think Cole doesn't need the Cholam Vav, right? All.
Yeah, it's Kamas.
Yeah, okay. So we have Kol Beseder. We actually get the term Kol Besedek from Kol Beseder,
Right.
because Jews that had servants in the south that would, or in countries where they had slaves that were either African American, I can't remember, the Caribbean I think is possibly some of the origin of the slaves. When they would respond, or actually it's not even slaves at all, it's employees, during times where Jewish people had employees that were black, they would respond sometimes with a southern accent, trying to say the Hebrew, is everything okay, Kol Beseder, and then it would turn out to be Kol Besedek. This is one theory. It's one theory that's out there. But nonetheless, we actually get the word all in order, Kol Beseder, as Kol Besedek. Look up the definition, you will find out that the largest theory is that it comes from Kol Beseder. And you can actually hear that, Kol Besedek, Kol Beseder, you hear it. And in the same way that Cajun is really Acadian. And so when someone would say, I'm a French Canadian from Canada, and they say, I'm Cajun. But they were trying to say Acadian, but things get slurred, if you will. In the same way that you talk about not teaching your kids to cuss. Where did we get the term cuss from? It meant curse. So stop cursing. Stop cussing. Cursing. Curse. That's where the term came from. To cuss someone out is to curse them. So they would say, stop cursing. But it's a cussing. We hear cursing, cussing. You just lose the R sound all the way. Okay? So interesting that when we greet each other, we're asking how is your peace, and we're saying our peace is good. Okay? So now, let's take a look at some of our words this week. Do we already pray? No, so let's officially pray for our minds to be alert. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, we thank you today, Lord God, as we've learned to greet each other. We also pray that you give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts to understand the deep things of the Hebrew tongue, Ivrit, Lashon HaKodesh, the holy tongue. We pray a blessing over us today that we will receive perfect peace and rest. B'Shem Yeshua. Amen. All right, so let's go ahead and do our Aleph Beit so we can take a look at the consonant letters and figure out what the vowels are. Let's start 5 letters at a time with a short breath. 1, 2, 3. Aleph, Beit, Gimel. Stop. I was doing vowels. So we'll start again. 1, 2, 3. Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech, Ayin, Pei, Sadi, Kuf, Resh, Shin, Tav, Tov, Me'od, and our vowels, 1, 2, 3. A, E, O, U. All right. So if we take a look at our words today that will help us understand the portion, let's take a look at this word here, Avram, and we see that the vowels underneath, I'm going to put them in blue. The first letter, Aleph, is a silent letter, so we need to know how to sound it. The line underneath called a patach actually gives us a medium length A sound, A. The longer would be kamatz, the one that looks like the T. Okay? So we're going to have a Shva here. What kind of Shva are we going to have? Shva Nah, like last week's portion, Noah. A resting Shva. Not a sounding Shva, but a silent Shva. Okay? So this creates a glottal stop, then closing off the syllable. So we have what? Av. What does Av mean in Hebrew? Father. So Av means father. So you can see why we need that glottal stop, because it's a separate word altogether. Okay? So then we have the letter Resh. Underneath it we have what? We have the kamatz. That's the long A sound. So under the letter Resh, it should be an R. We have Ram with the mem sofit. And Ram means what? Exalted. So Rami is a popular name for a kid who's very tall. He's exalted, he's very tall. And so we see that Ram is a term that's used for God, and he is high and lifted up. He's highly exalted. He's Ram Benisa. Ram Benisa. Ram meaning he's high, and Nisa to lift up. Remember like the portion Naso, to lift up the heads of the people, to take the census or to count them, their faces, and call forth their name. So together his name means what? Exalted Father. But how could he be exalted Father without a child? So God takes his covenant letter Hey, the first one of Yud Hey Vav Hey, Yud Hey Vav Hey. God takes this letter Hey. Doesn't give him the Yud because he's trying to remove the Yud from Sarai's name. So that's the hand that makes all things what? Exist. He who causes all things to exist. He who was, he who is, he who will be, but everything in between he causes it to exist by his own hand. Okay? So we see that the first Hey goes to, kind of interesting, the Hey in the middle of his name goes a Hey in the middle of his name. So we have Avram becomes enlarged or made great, and God promised, I'll make your name great. Gadol. And so his name became greater. From Avram to Avraham. So we take the next card that we see here. Avraham. Yeah, you have exalted Father means, so exalted is not in the word anymore. Because Raham actually comes from the concept of Hamon, multitude. So it technically doesn't mean exalted anymore, but it becomes a morphed word to play on words to the idea of being exalted. Because then you don't have a mem here anymore. You don't have a resh mem. So it's a father of many or multitude. And so we have the top. We have again another what? Shabbat. We have two kamatz underneath there, and that gives us Raham, and this is a play on words to Hamon. Hamon Goyim, father of a multitude of nations, many nations. Okay, let's look at our next card here. Sarai, the root is Sar, prince. So here we have the sheen with the dot on the right. We have the kamatz underneath the sheen and the kamatz underneath the resh. And the yud is a part of the vowel. This would be Sarai, as in Adonai. A kamatz yud would actually give us a diphthong of I. So this diphthong with the A and the Y together. It's not A, but it's I because it's the long A. So you have to pronounce it, but it's I. So it becomes a diphthong together, but it's Sarai, as in Adonai. So you see here that Sar means a prince or leader, so literally it means my leader, the one running my household. So he leaned upon her as Avram to run the household, even to how the kids were going to come to pass. Like instead of Isaac coming first, we have Ishmael coming through Hagar, because she said, sleep with my handmaiden, and that's exactly what happened. So we have Sarai. God says, I need to take this letter off, because this letter belongs to me. You've been having your hand in everything. I need to remove your hand. He needs to no longer call you my leader, even though she's a leader. He never takes away your God-given gift or quality. He keeps intact the Shin, and keeps intact the Resh, which spells prince or leader. And we know the Zars come from this ancient root, Zars, and Caesar comes from the same root, a leader. Yes?
Should be this. Simba.
Oh, you're so right. Thank you for catching that. I did that on purpose, of course.
Yeah.
The dot on the left gives us the letter C. And then we have, again, the double kamats here. And so we have Sarah. Sarah, as in Torah, we have Sarah. Okay? So Sarah. Now, sometimes when it's spelled, they leave the H off, just like in Moshe. No one ever spells Moshe with an H at the end. Sarah can be spelled in English as S-A-R-A also, without the H. Okay, the next word we see is the nephew before the son comes along. We have the dot on top and the dot on the side. Same letters. So let's take a look at Lot, proper name, Abraham's nephew. And from Lut, meaning wrapped up tightly. It's kind of like that he was a little bit smothered by both of them, but then he got wrapped up with the things of the world in Sodom and Gomorrah, didn't he? He wasn't really thinking about his children, and this is a good place for him to raise my kids. No. So we have Lot, and then we have from the root, Lut. Okay? So, then...
Is it spelled the same way in English?
No, Lot and Lut would be O and a U. Lot, Lut. Do you have a set of cards? Does she need a set of cards?
No, I was just...
Yeah, so let's make sure she gets a set of cards. They're right in front here. Just grab a stack that's separated there. And then the next word is halach, which is not really a word per se. In this case, it's the root. Although it's also the same way that the future tense for the masculine singular is, or the past tense for the masculine singular, meaning he walked or he went. Verb to go. He walked or he went. So to go is to walk there. Okay?
Yeah.
So halach, for instance, Abram walked with God. Right? So translated from this, now everyone see this letter Hey? This is considered one of those guttural letters. It's also a very weak letter because, for instance, Aleph and Ayin are also gutturals. They're kind of weak. They drop off because, in certain roots, because they are silent, or you have to empower them with a vowel. In this case, this letter Hey, we're going to lose it in the verb root because it's too weak. Remember, even at the end of this word, we don't even really hear it.
Right.
Sarah, in fact, if I spell it with without the H, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So what happens? Question?
Is-
Hold your hand up if you have a question. That way we get it. Yes,
You
question.
spell halal with an H, but then you begin with the, it doesn't begin there. The first character is not an H.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's number 7. I
Allah.
was reading that as Ba. No, I see, that's number 7. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so we haven't gotten to that one yet. Okay, so halach is the root. So we give it vowels just to be able to properly sound it. So you look in the back, and it is the primitive root there. It also can be in the Aleph form, the past tense, he walked. But as a root, it is just the letters Hey, the Lamed, and the Kaf, which is in this case Kaf sofit. Notice the Shva, Nach, to give us a glottal stop here. So halach. Now, a lot of people say halak, but it's really a KH sound, not a, or a CH sound, not a full K, because it's at the end, a sofit letter. Okay? So halach. We talk about halacha or halakhic rulings, and that is referring to the way in which we should walk in this pagan world. So that's an interesting concept when you think about our elections, right? So then we have the actual name of our portion, Lech and Lecha. The interesting thing about this, even though the two letters are exactly the same, the Lamed and the Chaf Sofit, and a Lamed and a Chaf Sofit, they're completely different.
Yeah.
This is the conjugation of this root here.
The second Shabbat
This one is nothing more
should be
than a pronominal suffix at the end of a prefix. So what you have is the word halach, or the root halach, being translated without the hay as lech, go. Question, comment.
That second Shabbat in Lech should be a Kamat Lacha.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That's what happens when you write this high in the air.
Yeah.
So you see we have lech, which is a command. Lech, go, walk. It's almost like in Spanish. Vete, vete. Vete de mi presencia. Okay? Go from my presence, right? Vete. That's what you need to tell Satanas. Tell him to leave. Go. You have no place here. Okay? So lech means to go. Lech. Okay? So go to a land I will show you, or go to yourself, or go for yourself. It can be translated. So what's this here? What's this prefix lamed?
It's 2 or 4.
Yeah, so it's a prefix, so out of 22 Hebrew letters, right? We've been learning that we have half of them, 11, can be prefixes. And if you look in your prefix page on your basic handout, you note the lamed means 2 or 4. So if I put lamed in front of the word shana and say La Shana Tova, what am I saying at the Rosh Hashanah celebration?
For a good year.
For a good year, because it's Jewish New Year. It's a way to say Happy New Year, may you have a good year, for a good year. La Shana Tova. Okay? And Lecha is the prefix in front of not really a whole word, but a suffix. So it's a prefix and a suffix put together. The suffix cha is the same as this one. Mashlom cha. For a female, mashlomech. It would change from this to the shvanach.
You put Shah for the female, right? Shah.
No, Shah is for shalom. Ma shalom cha. Shalom cha is shalom. It's a suffix at the end of shalom, so it's saying your peace. The suffix here for the root shalom, this is actually giving us a suffix of who the shalom belongs to. It's your peace, not my peace, right?
And she was asking about the female, so she...
Yeah,
The female is ech, not shah.
Not Shah.
Ech. So, shalom ha. For a man, and shlomech. The ech part, here is the suffix at the end.
That's what I was
Ech is for a female, cha is for a male, okay? Mashlom cha, mashlom ech, all right? So the same cha you have here is the same cha you have here. So it's saying go, literally it could be this lamed is a prefix for 2 or 4. So it could be go to yourself and for yourself. I say it's both. You're going to go for yourself, for you and your family, to start a new beginning, and you're going to go to yourself, because when you go, you're going to find out you're no longer Avram, but you're Avraham. In your going, you will grow as you go. You will develop as you go onto your destiny. And as long as you don't get detoured or delayed or distracted, you will continue to grow as you go. So Abram, I need you to get out of this pagan environment. I need you to go to a place I will show you, because it shows the idea of like even Jacob's ladder. We're climbing, we're going higher in the ways of God. Question or comment?
So each character literally has a visual meaning also.
The character, yes, has a visual meaning pictographically, but you can't always do that to every single word and really make sense of it because we don't have all of the secrets of the ancient language. One day when we sit down with Yeshua the Messiah and literally have a transformed mind of Messiah, we will already know. We'll just look at him like, you mean all this time? That's what that meant. So, yes, Lech, Chalach, think about the picture here. What is this a picture of?
Behold.
It's a window. But through the window you get a revelation, which is why it means behold. Oh, someone opened the window, I get to see on the other side. When God opens up the windows of heaven, he pours out a blessing. When you get the blessing, you're like, wow, behold. So we use this in a song we'll sing today, Hine Mato. Hine, right? Behold. And if I say Hineni, that's behold and ani, I. So here I am.
Right.
Behold, I'm right here. So the window opens up a revelation. So there is the first letter. The lamed is a shepherd's staff or an ox goad to prod the animal along to get him to move. So think about the root. To walk or to go. Go. So from to go.
He has the shepherd's feet as he walks.
So for sheep, it's a shepherd's staff for him to walk, but also to use to prod the animal along or to protect the animal. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me, the good shepherd says, right? The Lord is my shepherd.
Yeah.
And so we see that Lech comes from the idea of taking the shepherd's staff and saying, come on, go.
Sure.
All right? So the kaf is the hand. So whether that refers to the hand firmly grasping the staff, or the, the idea of guiding you by the hand when you hold on tightly, like if a child walks with their father, there's a cut there. Or it can even refer to the concept in Kippur, to cover. So the idea of when you walk with someone, they are your covering. There's a couple of different ways we could go. That's why I say you have to be careful because you can almost make too much out of something. But I would say the number one standout letter would be the lamed in all of these.
Yes.
So again, go. Where? To that place.
Yeah.
The stick is pointing to where you're going. So 2 or 4. Why are we going over there? For that over there. So I use my rod, my shepherd's staff, to point where I'm going. It's a pointer. Okay? All right. So any questions? All right. Let's just take a look at this page here. Let's see if we can read along here. So we have Vayomer Adonai El Avram. What's Vayomer mean?
He said.
And he said, who said? Adonai said, to who? El Avram. Notice the full word, not the prefix, but the full word is Aleph Lamed, like El Al, to God, right? We have El Avram, to Avram. And then we have the name of the portion right here.
Yeah.
See the Lamed Hasofit? Well, reading that one? So Lech Lecha, go to yourself. And then it says, Me'artzecha, from your land. Umi moledetecha, which is from your, what's the best way to translate that one? It's really, no, it's from your country. It's your kindred, it's from your family. It's kind of referring to your family, yeah. It's not the word for family, but that's the best way to translate it there. And then it says, Umi beit avicha, and from the house of your father. So, and, the vav, the mem, from, beit, house, av, father, the suffix, ha, your, from the house of your father, el ha'aretz asher arecha. So arecha comes from re'eh, to see. The reish, aleph, and chasofit is, hey is the root. The reish, aleph, hey is the root, to see. To see something, right? So we have the aleph in front of it, you will see. Remember, like, Eyeh, Asher, Eyeh. I will be who I will be. This is you will see. The aleph as a prefix in front of a root is referring to future. I will something, whatever the verb is. The verb is to see. I will see. In this case, that I will reveal to you. That I will show you. So it's something God's saying I will do, but then there's a suffix at the end, sofit, which is your. I will reveal to you. Get it? To you. All right, so that's all we have time for today. And so you can see on the page how each one is broken down. Bless you. So we just saw how God changed, watch this, changed the name and made his name great. But what did he do to her name? He didn't make it greater.
No.
He just made it more submissive because she went from prince to princess.
Right.
Or leader to someone who is a leader in submission. So notice he didn't take away her leadership ability. He just made her more submissive by taking the last letter, hey. Notice the concept. What is the bob in between?
A hook.
Hook that hooks the two together.
Yeah.
So when he has a revelation of God and she has a revelation of God, because God appeared to them, then they're hooked together. So it's like what they do in counseling where they say, here's God, here's the man, here's the woman. Instead of trying to grow horizontally closer together, if they grow up vertically towards God, the space in between the couple is tighter because the more unified they are in God, the more they're unified to each other. All right? Boy, I wish I had more time. Let's go ahead and close in prayer. Abba, we thank you, Lord God, for your blessings on this class. We pray that a revelation of Abraham and Sarah's destiny, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that revealed himself, Lord God, to the Israelites would also be the same one that reveals himself to us. We thank you that you are that God today, and you have given us your Son, Messiah Yeshua, pictured in the story of the Akedat Yitzhak, the binding of Isaac. And we know as a father was willing to give up his son, so you are the father that gave up your son for the world, so that we could look back and say, wow, Abraham saw Yeshua's day and rejoice. What day was that? The day that we would all come into Messiah and know who we are in him. B'Shem Yeshua. Amen. God bless you today. Shavua.
Yeshua Meshach